We need to get fucking weird. You, that's right, you at home, you need to be weirder. You need to double down on every single thing about yourself that you find shameful or embarrassing, and you need to triple down on that. You need to get extremely fucking weird right now. That's it, right now. Right fucking now. Yeah. I was just doing a little, getting a little silly with it, doing a little doom scrolling, and what do I find? I find a little advertisement by Glitch Studio with a few people wiggling their little stuffed animals around, saying, "Look, we're stimming, 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 stimming." And what I look in the, what do I see? What do I see? I see a shit ton of miserable fucking people saying, "Wow, these guys are going to set back the autistic community like 10 years. Everyone's going to keep thinking that my mental disorder is just a silly, wacky, quirk-chungus thing and not a real disorder. My life is so fucking hard, and these people are making it into a huge joke." I need you to understand that you can just stop giving a fuck. You can not care what other people think of you. I kind of feel like being categorized as a weirdo, whether that means you're neurodivergent or queer or something else, you kind of have to accept that there is going to be a lot of times for the rest of your life where you have to be willing to stare 8 billion people in the face and say, yes, you are all wrong. Because the majority of people are not going to see things our way. They're not going to be able to see through the matrix, they're not going to understand, they're not going to know anything. Because the truth is, the closer you are to normal, as in like being close to the middle of the bell curve of like people who have the most like broad average human experiences, the closer you are to that, the less perspective you have. There's this irritating cultural norm in our society that wants to push this idea on us that the stranger you are, the further you are from purity, and like being a weird person somehow makes you of lower moral fiber. You're a degenerate, so to speak. I can say from personal experience that the best, kindest, most respectful people I've ever met in my life, they were all weirdos. They were all people who were embracing their identities. They were neurodivergent, LGBT, like people of color, people who don't have the broadest, most generic life imaginable. And so like, if your life looks like The Simpsons, like the closer you are to being The Simpsons, the less I trust you, because you just don't have as much perspective on anything. The fact is, if you are autistic or ADHD or whatever, neurotypical people are not going to like you, just on average. A lot of them are just going to dislike you out of pocket, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's okay to be disliked sometimes, especially when the vast majority of people are assholes for not liking you. You know, I think it's okay to just say, I am who I am a massive weirdo, I'm a bit of a freak, I like to get a little silly with it, and anyone who doesn't like that, you know, they're just a bad person. Trying to be normal, trying to perform the act of normalcy, it just makes you more alone. You cannot form deeper connections with other people that way. You cannot build real relationships that actually support you the way you need to be supported emotionally. I was completely alone and unhappy until I embraced the stranger things about myself, and then I was finally able to find people like me. When I found more people like me, I got happier because people who are like me are kind. If you go your whole life, like, not checking yourself, not doing any introspection, not trying to be true to yourself at all, you end up with a whole bunch of other people who are doing the same thing, or you end up with a bunch of people who are nothing like you, and you just ended up worming your way into this strange little club that doesn't actually vibe with you. Fake it till you make it is actually a great way to end up with lots of success and no real friends. You know, when I was a kid, I used to always think that because I'm clearly so intelligent, that one day I was going to be rich and famous and I'd be super successful and I would be president of the whole world while all the kids who bullied me or mean to me They would all be like low on the ladder, they'd be like janitors, and they'd have sad, miserable lives with no meaning. And, you know, in a way, obviously I'm not like financially successful, I'm not the president of the world or any of that stupid shit, but I do feel like I am more successful than the people who bullied me because I have gained more self-worth over time than they could even measure. Everybody is allowed to define success for themselves however they see fit. For me, success looks like living comfortably in my home with a partner who loves me and having lots of friends who love me, genuinely, and just, I don't know, I guess maintaining a certain level of acceptable happiness to where I feel more joy than sadness, and in that regard I've been pretty successful lately. You know, I'm in my mid to late 20s and I feel like I'm finally starting to peak. I feel like I'm reaching the actual best times of my life that I've had so far. And you want to know how I got here? It wasn't by pretending. It wasn't by trying to appease people. It wasn't by trying to be normal. I embraced all of the things that I was ashamed of about myself, and I either, you know, if there was something about me that was driving other people away, I worked really hard to overcome that character trait and fix it. And everything that I was simply embarrassed of because other people made me ashamed of it, I got over it. I got away from those people. I made new friends who facilitated the way I act and the way I am, and gave me space to really explore my identity with patience and, you know, and grace. And I think I've come to really love myself, like, genuinely. I am a fucking freak by the standards of broader society. I am transgender. I am bisexual. I'm, like, kind of furry, but, like, furry adjacent, I guess. Being furry at all, really, puts you on the fringe of society, let's be real. I am an adult who collects toys. I have collections of, like, Legos and stuff. I collect manga. I have anime DVDs. I'm a bit of a freak. I'm a bit of a weirdo. I have had all kinds of different flavors of gay sex. And last but not least, I am the stereotypical trans girl who makes bad YouTube videos. And there's also the fact that I dress the way I do. I mean, fuck is this? So yeah, I don't know. I just felt this spur of the moment, like, anger and rage at other autistic people and other queer people for being so shitty and selfish and stupid and trying to enforce cultural norms on people. Trying to say, hey, you need to pretend to be more normal because you're making life hard for the rest of us. You're a fucking moron. That's not true. That's not how any of this works. All of the quote-unquote normal people hate everyone who doesn't look like them because they're narcissists, okay? They are horrible fucking people. And I am not going to appease them. I'm not going to appease you. I refuse to compromise on who I am to anybody. Telling me I need to suppress the way I express myself because I'm too strange or I'm too unserious, I'm too silly, I make autistic people look bad. I am autistic. I literally am autistic. If I'm making autistic people look bad, then autistic people just do look bad. Okay? That's the reality of it. And I'm not going to go out of my way to compromise on my entire being just to make you not hate yourself so much. You know? Keep it in your pants, I guess. Keep it in your pocket. All those insecurities you're feeling right now, you know? Shut the fuck up and don't make them other people's problems, you little pussy, you little bitch. You wish you were brave enough to be me. You wish. I'm having a fucking great time over here. I have a huge friend group of people who are, I mean, not all of them are as strange as me, I'll be honest. I'm probably further on the weirdo end of that spectrum. But come on, I'm friends with a bunch of freaks and geeks. This is the way you should live your life, this is the way that you should be. We would live in an ideal society if everybody tried to be more like me. Mr. Kitty. Oh, he's my baby boy. He's so cute. honestly, there is nothing in the world I find more threatening and more dangerous than someone who is willing to compromise their own identity to appease others. If you're that much of a chameleon that you can just like shapeshift to blend in and pretend to be something you're not, why the fuck would I trust you? That is surely going to cause like long-term mental health problems for you, and it's going to cause you to be harmful to other people. Like, you realize that, right? That's not an okay way to be. And like, sure, if you're autistic, there is a certain amount of survivability involved. Like, I do mask a little bit at work, because I don't want to come across as like a total psycho. I don't want people to think I'm crazy, so I have to downplay a little bit who I really am, so that the boss man doesn't think, geez, this person is like stupid, I have to fire them. Got cat hair all over my face now. It's time for vor, everybody!